Hey, what's going on, guys? Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. How's it going today? We're going to get started here on the ReGUS in just a moment. Just want to give people a few minutes to kind of make their way in. I know it's 10 a.m., well, Eastern time, on a Thursday. It's even earlier in different parts of the country, I guess. So if you're at work, at school, or at home, whatever you're up to this morning, that you're able to watch. Thanks for being here. I just wanted to also, here, give me just a moment while we're waiting for people to come in. I'm just gonna post and remind people that we're live over here. Let's see. ReGUS. Gunpla, question mark. All right. So, yeah, like I said, this kit's in my spare. This kit sits in my spare bedroom. I must try to get to it. You have it already, Chris? That's incredible. Because it's just now, actually turns out, kind of just by chance, it's actually just now arriving here at USA Gundam Store. So if you guys have pre-ordered it already, I can tell you that it's probably going to be shipping out next week. So you just have a ton of stuff that's been coming in. So it's like just literally like kind of like just been unloaded off the truck. And so I've got to like check it in and do all that. You know, I don't know if they'll be able to start shipping them out tomorrow. Probably it'll be that these are going out next week. So that's if you pre-ordered it. If you have not pre-ordered it and you would like to order it, you can, of course, now order. Like I said, I don't know if it's like currently at the moment of speaking this showing like in stock on the website, but you can just like pre-order it technically, even though it's technically already here. You can pre-order it, or like later today or something, once it's checked in, it should show like in stock on the website. You can go in there and actually just order it. So first impression of just kind of going over the parts, it looks really nice. The Gus looked really cool. I just never got around to building it, so when they announced this one, I was like, yeah, that looks really cool. I actually kind of prefer the design of this one, so in a way I'm kind of glad that I waited. Not that I think that I would have minded building essentially the same essentially the same kit twice, because there is a lot of the kit that is reused. It's basically just sort of like where the Gus was sort of like the Jim, this is like the Gundam, basically, kind of when it comes to just the design. So yes, I'm building this kit now. Later today over on my channel on ZakuAurelius, I'll be live building the MG Barbatos Lupus from Bandai. So yeah, come check that out. That'll be at 3 p.m. Eastern time. So double live build today. In other news, before we get started, I am also working on this guy, not live building, but I'm just getting this kit built up for review as well. The kind of MGSD style Barbatos Bale kind of kit here. It's kind of styled after the Bale, but it has like some different kind of design aspects to it. It has like the toes. You do have different feet. You have a lot of different option parts with this to kind of however you might want to make it look. If you want it to look a bit more like the Bale or a bit more like the Barbatos Lupus, there's option parts for that stuff. So there's a bunch of stuff in this kit. So the main body I just finished. I still do the backpack and all that. It has like an extra set of arms and some more weapons and stuff. So I still have a little bit more still left to finish on that, but I wanted to show that to you guys real quick. Alternatively, last night I was finally getting around to building up this kit too. The first time I'm building any of Bandai's HG and Macross kits here. So I was working on getting this kit built up. This is also basically done. I just have to finish a couple of weapons bits on it, and I'll be working on a review of this one in the near future as well. So check that out. Yeah, the stickers were just driving me nuts working on this last night. It has a bunch of stickers, and I didn't even use them all, but I tried to use most of them just because I think they're just kind of like part of the look. But yeah, there's a couple of different things that are coming out. Oh, also, all right, there's one more thing I'll show you. I have been a busy beaver. I've got the Star Abyss here as well, all built up, and so I'll be working on the review of this one for you guys tomorrow. Actually, is the plan for that. So this is just the main body. This kit is huge. I mean, just the main body is big, but then like it has a ton of stuff in there, like for all the equipment and everything. This kit took a while to put together. It's super solid. Like it feels like a metal build, sort of like an MG. It feels, I mean, just in the construction and just like the fit and everything, it feels very much like an MG, but just like because it has those metal frame parts in there too, really has that weight like a metal build. So yes, a lot of stuff happening. Is there any Chinese kits that are around 13 to 15 centimeters, same as Bandai 144 scale kits? Yeah, George, I would recommend checking either. Well, like the SNAA kits are close to that. I would say they're a little bit larger and definitely more complex. They're kind of more like real grades and a little bit larger. They're what, BE, Beyond Exquisite, I think is the series. They're kind of smaller kits, the SNAA kits. That would be a good option. Otherwise, the Chic mainline kits are really cool. Those are probably the most comparable to like Bandai HG 144 scale kits in terms of size and complexity. They're pretty nicely detailed though, and they've got kind of more coming out. They started off with like just a couple of those, but they seem to be doing pretty well. So they've got more on the way, and the ones that they've got coming out look really, really cool. So I've reviewed 2 different ones of those, but I do have another one here that I need to review, and then yeah, there's more on the way. So check out the Chic mainline kits. I think there is a name for the series generally. I don't remember what it is though. It's like armored combat troopers, something generic like that, but really cool kits. Good morning, David. Let's see. All right, how late am I? You're not late at all. I'm literally just getting started. I was just kind of talking about some other stuff that I've been working on, and right now we're gonna kick off the ReGUS. So anyway, actually on the note of the Gus, I think you have all the parts to make the regular Gus head, and obviously it would be in a little bit different colors, but it seems so. So I've not actually put any of that together, but I separated those parts. So you have a small handful of leftover parts. These face parts I went ahead and put together ahead of time just because there was like really tiny parts, especially for that little black piece for like the chin right there. I was worried about losing. And you do have options for the eyes, whether you want to do clear blue or yellow. I just thought the clear blue will look more visible. What does it actually have on the box art? Yeah, the sample images are also yellow, so I'm good with that decision. Anyway, what was I saying? Yes, I think you have all the parts to make the regular Gus head, and I'll try that out later. I'll let you know either at the end of the live build if we have time, if we can get around to it. I'll put that together, but we'll see how the time's going. I might do that off camera and just let you guys know in the review if that's all right. So far, I'll say the fit's very nice. Not having any issues at all there. You know, after just putting a couple of parts together here, but as you can see, it's coming along pretty smoothly so far. So that's good. Yeah, after not building the Gus, but I did hear about it. Somebody else here on the staff at USA Gundam Store, somebody else built it and told me about it and said that they liked it a lot. So I had heard good things, and I've heard good things from other people as well. Basically, everyone online that's built it too all have good things to say about it. So I think I should be pretty happy with that. It's just like a little tiny bit of flash there. I just wanted to clean up because it's in like a little vent detail area. It's going to be noticeable. And pretty quickly, we've got our head together there. Kind of just goes to show, I mean, if parts are like tight or something, then you have to kind of fight them. But also sometimes if like the fit is just kind of a bit awkward or something, getting the parts together, sometimes it can just be tricky, especially the head, because there's a lot of little parts. But that was really fast. So, I mean, that if that's any kind of indication of how the rest of the build is going to go, I think this is going to be a pretty smooth build. As you can see, it looks really nice there. The color separation, you got the clear parts there for the cameras, the front and back. Very sharp V-fin. I'm going to have to be really careful with that, not to damage that though. But so far, so good. Sorry, let me set that there. Back in the box, actually, to make sure that stays safe. And we're on to page 2. Well, technically page 3. All right. I really like the back unit of the ReGUS. I'm a sucker for unnecessary amount of boosters. Yeah, it does have that. That part does look really cool. How much prep do you put into these? Do you sand or just snip the nubs away? Chris, you should know this. I don't know if you're asking just kind of rhetorically for the conversation, which I appreciate, or genuinely want to know. Haven't heard me mention it before, but kind of in between. So I usually don't sand anything unless it's like a particularly tricky nub, but I also don't only just clip. You know, I'm a big proponent of not just using only nippers as a method of removing nubs. You know, people swear by their god hands and swear how clean a cut you can get, whatever. I just don't like that. It's never gonna be clean enough to be paint ready. So, I mean, for the purposes of just doing a review like this, probably I'm not planning on painting this kit straight away. So you could get a clean enough kit with nippers that it's like not really noticeable, and it probably would be fine for something like this. But I just always err on the side of like, I would rather just, you know, put in that little extra effort with, I guess, like, honestly, how busy I am, I probably should just try to speed up my process by just using nippers. But I just think that, yeah, you're just, you know, whatever people say, I just think you're still gonna get some bit of nubs. So anyway, the answer to your question is I usually use nippers and hobby knife most, and that's usually I can get everything down pretty good. And even that's not like paint ready, but I feel like I can get a closer finish to paint ready by using nippers and then knife, and yeah, that's pretty good. And then like I said, if it's kind of like a particularly tricky one or something, I might have to use sandpaper a little bit, but usually don't need to mess around too much with that if it's just for the purposes of doing the review. Sorry, this is a kind of interesting bit here. This kind of like piston detail here on the front. Unfortunately, the piston part, which you would imagine might be in like a molded, or in like a either molded silver or like a plated chrome or something like we see with the Barbatos kits, it unfortunately is not. But you can kind of see there in the torso, so when that bends, you'll have these like little pistons there in the front middle section. Let me try to fix the focus a bit there for you guys. And yeah, David asked, favorite part of Vegas? Just painting. It was nice to be able to just sit and paint the kit, because you guys know that's yeah, the card game, it is just, I don't know if I'll ever really get too much into the card game, Gundam Assemble, though, as I said in my video coverage, it was pretty fun. It's not something that I think I'll get like super into. I'm definitely I'm still much more excited about the model kits more than anything than like the actual gameplay. But I was glad that the gameplay wasn't as overwhelming as I was expecting it to be. Again, as someone that just doesn't have a lot of experience with things like that. It was, I don't want to say straightforward, but anyway, I was able to grasp it. So I was glad about that, and that does genuinely make me more interested to try it out more later. But still, though, like for me, it's still always going to be mostly about the model kits, and so that's the thing I'm most excited about. So just even though the Zakus were not like new or anything, it was still cool to be able to just sit down and just work on a kit for a little bit. I mean, because with a big event like that too, it's just kind of overwhelming. There's, you know, a lot of stuff going on, and it's a huge space, and there's a ton of people, and I was able to just kind of sit down and just chill and just kind of chat with the people around me, and just work on a little Zaku there for a little bit. So I enjoyed that for sure. Got to chat a bit with some of the Bandai staff, actually, some of the Bandai Japan staff that were there. I think they maybe were waiting because it was a little bit later in the day, towards the end of the day. Actually, it was like towards the end of the day that I was doing that, and so I think maybe they were kind of holding off from sitting down and checking it out for themselves until like kind of towards the end of the day after other people had been through. But it was pretty cool. One of the staff was actually someone who I know, which is cool to meet him again. Somebody that I met in Japan in 2019 when I was there for GBWC with Tim, when Tim, Child of Mecha, was the winner, and I was able to go with him as a kind of documentarian of the event. I was able to go as his what do they call it? Anyway, I was able to ride along with him. Every GBWC winner is allowed to like bring someone, and so that was cool that I got to go with Tim. Anyway, so yeah, it was a guy that I met there working for Bandai Japan at the time. Now he's here in the US, and so I met him, talked with him a bit. And some of the other Bandai staffs. That was cool. Wow, to them. Got a Nihongo Jozu with like a couple of words of Japanese. So always sure to impress. Make sure that you guys are studied up when you go to events like that, because you meet them, you want to be able to impress them. Get a Nihongo Jozu. What's up, chat and Zach? What did I miss? K Tenmo, what's going on? So far, not missed a whole lot. We built the head and we're working on the torso now. It's the build's kind of very smoothly just kind of sailing along here. Here's how the torso is looking so far. Head, in case you missed it. Well, I know you did miss it. Just came in, but here's the head. That'll sit atop the torso momentarily. I'm actually going to leave the head off, I think, probably until the end, because as I was saying, I'm just kind of worried about that V-fin getting damaged. So we've got our little cockpit here. This is pretty cool. Let me show you up close. So in front of the pilot, you have the kind of Wing Zero style, kind of like a dome. What is it, like the Zero system sort of looking dome, kind of, what would you call it, like a HUD, heads-up display kind of thing there in front of the pilot inside the cockpit. It's pretty cool. That's going to go, let's see, got this piece here. Okay. This goes in, oh, okay. So we've got, oops, well, that shouldn't fall in, let's see. Got this little like gear piece. Sorry, it's hard to look at it on camera. So you got this kind of gear piece that sits in there like that. Oh, and there's supposed to be, is this, oh, okay, no, there it is. Let's say there's supposed to be like a little gear on the bottom of the pilot seat. So here, on the bottom of the cockpit part there, it's kind of teeth to interlock with these teeth here. So I think when that means, let's see, that means when we open up the cockpit hatch, the seat will come out. See, it'll fit in there like that. Kind of, it's a very delicate little piece. I'm trying to show you guys at the same time as being able to see it myself. So I'll show that to you. Let's get these other pieces on here first, real quick. And we'll check that out in action. What are we hung up on here? I think that's supposed to be like that. Okay. I know that I'm zoomed in. You guys are just like not seeing anything here. Bear with me just a moment. Get these parts together and then we'll, because I want to show this to you more close up. Okay. This piece is here. Okay, anyway, so here's what I was talking about. This cockpit hatch will open up like that. The problem is it's not closing. So I wonder if I need to adjust that. I think that the teeth alignment maybe is not right, because that's the only reason I can imagine why that's not quite closing all the way. Let's see. It seems like that should be right, though. Hang on. Oh, I can go ahead and zoom out now. Oh, it still keeps wanting to pop open. So let's see. Let's go ahead and move this real quick. Not the back part, front part off. Ooh. That works. Worked a little too good. Okay, let's try this again. I think maybe in the midst of trying to show it to you guys at the same time, I got that a little bit off. This will be better. So ultimately, that might be still not quite right. Okay. Yeah. Well, seems like it should be right. Let's try it. Let's try and see. I think that's going to be right. So let's just try it. Oh yeah, that definitely looks correct now. Okay. So yeah, I think it's just a matter of you have to have the alignment of those teeth just right. And then the chest is able to close up nicely like that. Okay. So yeah, I think it doesn't seem right in the manual. I think the manual, the way that it shows it in the manual, the way that the teeth are meant to be aligned is not. And I know it doesn't make a ton of sense, but I'll just because I'll try to show you guys here. So it shows you the alignment right here, how it's meant to be, but make sure that the back tooth of the bottom fits into the top tooth here. So this is actually, I think, not correct here. It should be like one more tooth back. Otherwise, because that's how I had it before, and it was not wanting to close up properly. Okay. All right. With so many entries, I wonder which third-party company is a front runner right now. I would say probably SNAA, just in terms of like popularity and like production quality, consistency. But there is, yeah, a lot of good options. This is definitely, this kit is really impressing me so far. Aside from that one little misstep there, that's still a really cool gimmick there in the cockpit. It took a second to kind of get it straightened out, but otherwise, it's fine. It's been a very smooth process otherwise, so can't complain. There is a couple of little circle parts here. Oh, that looks cool. Really nice connection of those parts there. Okay, there's a couple of these little circle parts here for like the tips of the Vulcans or whatever there in the chest. I'm gonna wait a minute on those. Just because those will take a second to, I left them on the runner, and they'll take just a minute to get cleaned up. These are also going to be kind of tricky. So you have these little piping parts that go into the chest, but you have to kind of plug them straight in. That's kind of tricky to do that. There you go. Everything else, I was just about to say, as that slid right in there, everything else has been going together so smoothly. It shouldn't like be, if it was like particularly tight, it would be difficult, but it was actually pretty easy. Just had to kind of get in at the right angle here. Also, my gigantic hands are not helping. That goes there, that goes there. And keep in mind, oops, that this is a kind of, I don't know if it, does it say 1/100 scale in the box? I don't know if they technically call it a 1/100 scale, but I mean, it's kind of basically like a master grade, right? 1/100 scale, just in terms of the general size of it. It's the bigger kit. So you can imagine how fun it can be sometimes for me working with like the little tiny parts of like RGs and stuff like that from time to time. This one, I think something getting in the way here. A little bit of kind of dust or something in there. odd little part that like everything else fit so smoothly, and it's very strange that this one part there, like the front chest vent, it would be the one that it's like not wanting to fit in there. Must be something on here that I'm not seeing. There's no nub, but I'm gonna just try to clean this up a little bit more. I don't know, for some reason it's being weird. Yeah. Oh. It keeps popping back out. Okay, so it fits in. So that means it's the connection. It's not the actual fit of the part. Ooh. It's getting done faster than I expected. Yeah, me too. Except for, I mean, we're having a couple hangups here. On these bits. I think it's that there's a little bit of flash around this connection peg, and I think this should hopefully do it. But as I said, if you guys are just coming in, this kit is literally kind of just in the process of getting unloaded here. So if you've pre-ordered, you should see your pre-order probably shipping next week, as it'll take them some time to kind of get through everything and get those rolling for you guys. That's in there better, but I'm still a bit worried about that. I'm gonna keep my eye on it. If you've not pre-ordered and you want to, you either, I don't know if it's marked as in stock yet on the website, but if not now, it should be. You can pre-order anyway. You can get it now, and it should be shipping out to you guys, like I said, next week. Got you guys may have seen, we got just a ton of stuff from Kotobukiya the other day. More stuff, other third-party kits and stuff we got in earlier this week. We got a Wally model kit. If you guys have not seen that, I'm really looking forward to checking out that kit. It's from PopMart, makers of everyone's favorite Labubu. But it's like an officially licensed Wally model kit, and it comes with like a whole bunch of different stuff too. It's got his lunchbox, cockroach, the plant, of course, all the different accessories that you could want for that. So there's the torso. Very cool. It's in stock and ready. If you're asking about this kit, yeah, like I said, I don't know if it's technically marked in stock yet on the website. It's technically here, but they're like I said, they're working on getting it checked in, and then once it's checked in, then it kind of goes into the queue of those orders going out to you guys. So, biggest enemy is going to be shelf space. Yeah, I heard that. We're on to the waist section next, which I appreciate. I usually like to go to the waist before going to the limbs. So it's all good with me. Must be all a color shift of that fast for Cockpit. There'll be a color shift. Okay. Wait, what? Or was it a different kit? What? Sorry, I'm lost there in that conversation. Mercenary. I don't know if there's a part of that I missed earlier. Whatever you're asking about. I think I might have missed a part of it. That was weird. They're putting this section together and it feels like there should be like a kind of polycap joint type part or something there. It looks like it's missing something, but apparently not. Although, okay, yeah. So where it looks like that, maybe there was on the GUS. Maybe this is a new part. I don't think so though. It's part from the A runner, which I think the A runner was all. That was not a new runner. I don't know what I would say is my favorite, like, preferred way for connection of skirt armor, because whenever skirt armor parts use ball joints, I always feel like there's always a tendency for those to pop off easily. Those are always the parts that tend to want to just pop off. And I don't know what's the best way to avoid that. Oh, there's a hidden little connection in there. Do you plan on getting the in-era lizard? Probably not the lizard, but as you know, as you might know, I do have the Fenrir here, and that is in the queue. So I'll be working on that in the very near future, basically next week. So this week, got this and like a number of other things that I'm working on. And then next week, it'll probably be an era kit, the Baki kit I need to build. It's another big one. Just yesterday, or the day before yesterday, got a sample of what's the name of it? I forget. I can show you. The Ling kit, the blue guy with the hat. Sorry, I forget the name. Got an early sample of that guy. That's also now in the queue, among other things. So, I mean, there's a lot of stuff, but in particular, a couple of quite big kits to work on. Nice. Quite cool design for these skirts. A lot of nice color separation between the vents and the armor bits there for these front skirt parts. So yeah, these attach via a double ball joint. Yeah, like I said, it's just always the... See? Just talking about it, the ball joint popped out of there. So it's always a concern. And I think... so there's different designs for skirt armor that are better than others. I'm not sure what my preference would be. I wonder if that's different size. I don't think the... Oh, no, I'll never know. The two ends of the joint seem exactly the same size. I wonder if maybe I had like the small end and the big end swapped, but they don't seem to be any different. Although that does seem to be a little bit tighter now. So maybe I did have them swapped. Let's jump the gun and just get this torso attached on here. I do like that this is kind of mostly grayscale. It's not super bright and colorful, right? The GUS was like that as well, too, I suppose. Doing that opposite. It's a sick Jane Doe banner. Thank you. I'm a fan. As I think everyone should be, really. Yep, had that with me for quite a long time. Long-time viewers will remember Jane Doe banner. It's been around for a little while. And we've got kind of a little bit, almost sort of like a unicorn Gundam style. Did the GUS have this? I'd have to go back and look. The GUS have this, these little, on the back skirt, these flaps that open up with a little extra thruster there. I'm gonna guess that the GUS also had that. There we go. Let's see. Rumor has it Zach's gonna kit bash his favorite third-party kits. Maybe not exactly that, but I haven't really thought too much about any kind of like custom builds. I have so many other like custom builds and work in progress things that are like set aside at the moment that are all just like basically just different Bandai projects for the most part, different Gundam kits and things like that. I haven't really thought too much about any like painted builds or custom builds that I wanted to do with any third-party kits, other than I did want to do something with like the Nether Emperor SNAA kit, and I still might at some point, but that project has also been shelved for the moment, just because I've got so many different kits to build. But that doing some kind of kit bash between like SNAA kits I think would be pretty cool. Nothing like too crazy. That has been something that I know I've talked to our friend there in the chat, Chris, a bit about, and I think I've talked about it during other videos or live streams or something or other, just about like a lot of these designs are kind of harder to customize because they're very unique and like specific designs, and so it's not that they're overly designed, that's not exactly the right word that I want to use, but it's a bit that like there's, I don't know what would be the other way to put it. Not over designed, but maybe you guys get what. Over designed in a way that there's already so much going on with them. It's kind of hard. They also don't really mix with a lot of, other than, you know, other kits. Well, that's why like the SNAA kits would be a good example, because then they're all kind of similar in style. So like kit bashing, just as in like swapping arms, like the Tristan, and like the leg first of all, and like the head from one of the other one. I can't think of the Achilles or something like that. Something along those lines would be pretty simple to do. And like a weapon from one of the different kits, something like that. Just making like an amalgamation of different SNAA kits kind of in one thing would be kind of cool to do. So that's a possibility. I do have the new SNAA kit, speaking of. That's also in my queue. It's on my to-do list here. I've got the new SNAA kit as well to build. The what was it called? Soul Spear Lamorak. Zach, any info on third-party G-Quox kits? I don't know of anything. I've not seen anything that I can remember. I don't know anything about it. Been looking forward to this build. Yes. So far we got the head, torso, and waist section done. really nice so far. Really cool detail, especially if you're a fan of the more kind of Universal Centuries kind of styling to it, with all like the square angles and vents and stuff like that. It's definitely a bit more like that than Gundam Seed or something, I suppose. I want to adjust my angle and also zoom out a bit. We're kind of close, aren't we? It's pretty cool if you can, because I want to make a heavy grunt Gus look. Liking the color separation. Yes, Josh, I agree. The color separation is really nice. Yeah, it's looking great, just like right out of the box, which is the case for a lot of kits like this, and I think that's one of the reasons why they're as popular as they are, is because they do tend to try to design the kits in a way that they do look really good right out of the box. So on to the arms now. Would like to get this kit up on two legs so that it could be walking around, but we'll get there. I'll just follow the instructions. I'll be a good builder. Good builders follow the instructions. You don't detour. What I see something about, I guess it wasn't any like one thing in particular, as this is something that you see from time to time around social media, but oh yeah, there was something. Excuse me, getting over a cold. I saw something online, and I don't want to call out the person, because I don't think that I know the person, and I don't think that they meant anything bad. They're a very kind-hearted person, I know, and I don't think that it was meant to be anything negative at all. But I have seen this from other people as well. But I saw recently someone who I know and who I like in the community posted something about like, you're not a real Gunpla builder unless you do this or something like that. And I just don't like that thought or sentiment, or saying that about anything, about like you're only real. I mean, like you could say like as a joke, like only real modelers get this, whatever, and it's sort of like, the whole honestly very tired and worn out meme of dropping a piece into the carpet and it disappears, or something along those lines, right? You're like, haha, yeah, we all know that. But then there's other stuff too about like, I don't know, but something like the PG New Gundam or something, for example, and someone was like saying something, or are those parts like that? Like with the PG New, and if this is not what I saw, but just like, for example, if you saw something like, oh, this kit's only for real hardcore Gunpla modelers or something like that, I'd just be like, okay, relax. Something along those lines. That's a pretty tame example, admittedly, but you guys get what I mean. Kind of interesting how these parts have to kind of go in diagonally, sort of like that. Yeah, gatekeeping, sort of, and I think like, yeah, I mean, it's not exactly sort of gatekeeping necessarily, but I think inherent in that, in talking like that, is putting people down, which there's just not any reason to do that. I mean, it's saying that there's some people that are better than others, and I mean, not necessarily. I mean, because it's not necessarily wrong to point out people's skill, because there's certainly people that are better than others when it just comes to just modeling skill. That's one thing, but I mean, that's with any skill. But I mean, there's just, I don't know, it's just kind of like just a pointless thing to say that doesn't do anything but just like either make people feel bad or make bad people feel better about themselves, kind of thing, which either option is not good. So anyway, don't be like that. Should always try to do nothing more than just lift people up, let people enjoy what they want to enjoy in a hobby. I mean, there's been times where even just yesterday there was a post where just like I don't spend a whole lot of time on Facebook these days because it's just the worst. But people talk about how bad Twitter is. Like, honestly, I'm on Twitter way more than I am on Facebook because I just look at cool models on there. But on Facebook, like, I'll just see like a post on some like Gundam group or something, and it'll just be like a very obvious question. I mean, like, there's some cases where like you can tell the person's just wanting attention. There's other cases too where it's like I've been like seconds away from just wanting to type something like "you're an idiot" kind of thing, like, right? Like there was a post, just to give an example, and someone had posted something about how like they couldn't find a part that they were looking for, and then like blaming Bandai for just like designing the instructions and like the runner label badly or something like that. And it was like the most easily recognizable part. Like, it was very obviously like a part that like you could just look at in the runner and you know exactly where that part goes on the kit. It's like the most obvious part ever. And so I was like seconds away from just typing like just something like, you know, that's the most easily recognizable part. Like, how could you not notice that? But, you know, I stopped myself and I just thought, like, you know, what's the point of even saying anything at all? Like, it might, like, I could have been like, oh yeah, that's, you know, could have tried to have been like helpful about it, like, oh yeah, that's this whatever part. I was like, no, other people already kind of like pointed it out, and the person's original post was only just kind of to try to dog on Bandai about not designing that part better, and any, so like their point wasn't really even like that they were looking for help. It's just that they were just looking to hate on Bandai, which, yeah, I was just like, yeah, there's just not really any point in me commenting on this at all, so I just skipped it. And that's what I think we need more of in any fandom, any community. I mean, like, just, I think it's just kind of good media literacy. You know, just think, and you type out what you want to say, you know, and then just like, but, you know, think before you press enter or whatever. I know it's not pressing enter now, it's, you know, whatever. You get what I'm saying? Before you submit your comment into the ether, you know, think, is this really something that's useful, something that'll be appreciated, something that's, you know, positive? And like, you don't always have to be positive, but, you know, just don't spoil things for other people. But I think it is helpful to always be positive too, as much as possible. But, you know, everybody has the right to complain about things. So in the midst of all of that, we seem to have finished this arm. So, just looking to start drama. Yeah, I mean, I think it's not even. I mean, when it comes to like commenting on stuff, I think there's always. I mean, there's people that want to start drama, and there's also people that just are just looking for an opportunity to feel better about themselves by putting other people down. I mean, it's just. I mean, like, I'm no psychologist, and I think that a lot of times that's just kind of like the catch-all answer that people will say about stuff like that. But I think there's definitely some truth to that. I mean, there has to be. And when people say that, like, oh, you know, that they've got something, you know, people have to have something going wrong in their life to spread negativity in a world like that. That also, I think, is, you know, it's not always necessarily going to be true, but there's definitely some truth to that. I mean, I'm sure we've all been there. You know, when you're having a bad day is when you feel like you're kind of more prone to start getting mad online. It's just better to reel that in. Take a beat, as they say. Thank you for attending my TED Talk. Yeah. Bit of a crazy morning. No worries. You did miss most of the build, I'm sorry to say. No, I'm just kidding. We're about half done, I guess, sort of. There's still a good amount, because we still have the second arm, both legs, and the backpack and weapons. There's quite a lot there, too. I need to cough. Excuse me. Or something. I do... Is there supposed to be closed fists? No, we don't have proper closed fists, which I'm a little bit disappointed by. You have kind of like the MG articulated hands, where it's like one finger and three fingers, which are just meant to be like holding hands. You have two different like fixed post hands for the left side here. Just different shape open hands, basically. But I do wish that we had closed fists. It's always a good option. All right. But we finally got some color on the design here, with the little yellow accents and red accents up there on the shoulder. Thanks, and have a good sleep. Yes, I gotta go to bed now. Oh yeah, in Thailand. All right, it's late there, George. Good night. Are we gonna see a giveaway of the Wolf model BLR or not? Which was that? The Wolf Technology Kit? Probably we'll give one away for something at some point, live stream. So on that note, there will not be a live stream tomorrow, and it's been a while since Adam and I have done a live stream here on the channel, just because I was gone, and then I was gone, and then I was gone. Either, you know, dealing with family stuff, or then I was also in Las Vegas, so missed that Friday 2 weeks ago for that. And then we were going to do one on either like a Monday or Tuesday instead of doing it on the usual Friday, but then that didn't work out as well. And there will also not be one tomorrow. So anyway, all that to say, just there's no live stream tomorrow. Hopefully the week after. There is, however, of course, build day this Saturday. So we've been trying to let everyone know about that. Kind of a shame that this part here that goes on the side of the shoulder, which is honestly kind of mostly covered up inside there, because it kind of gets covered up by the missile pod here. Thank you. My knife's stabbing into my hand. Okay. It's kind of mostly covered up, but there's an internal vent piece here that you pop into there. Kind of a shame that it's not a different color, because it would have been a nice little bit of color separation. But you could always paint it in a different color, of course. So, do I need to? No. Okay. Didn't know if the arm was a ×2 situation or left and right side are completely different set of instructions. The construction, I'm sure, itself is probably exactly the same. It could have been ×2 for most of the arm, but they did separate it. So on to the next arm. What's your opinion on the new Imperial Knight miniature? I don't know what that is. Sorry. Imperial Knight miniature? What even is that? Speaking of like Imperial Knight, though, when I saw that, it just kind of reminded me for a second of Star Wars books. So I just finished reading the first Dune book. Well, like the main story. There's still like 80 pages of stuff to read, like after the main story ends. There's like a couple of appendixes, which give kind of like, they're basically like part of the book, but like give you kind of some more information about a few aspects of this, of like the lore, kind of basically like a lore section at the back of the book, which is kind of interesting. So I finished the main story, but I'm not quite finished with the book. I'm planning on just moving ahead to Dune Messiah next, straight away, just because I want to make sure that I have that read before the next movie comes out, which is in December. So like I have a lot of time, but I just want to make sure that I definitely have that read, and then maybe even Children of Dune before December. But I might want to mix it up a little bit and read something else in between Messiah and Children. Anyway, in terms of new acquisitions, I just got a bunch of Star Wars Legends books, to be precise, because there's a lot of new canon books, which apparently a lot of people like. They're pretty popular, but I had come across a deal. Someone was selling a bunch of their a bunch of Legends books on Facebook Marketplace for a great price, and I thought it'd be fun to. So lately, I've been getting into more science fiction novels, and I'm a big Star Wars fan, of course. So thought I'll give this a try. It was a bunch of Star Wars books for a very reasonable price, so picked up a bunch of those. But so then last night I was looking up some videos about like where would be a good place to start, because like, okay, I have all these like 30 Star Wars novels now, and I don't know like where would be a good place to start reading them. So I was looking at videos about like where to start reading Star Wars Legends novels. So I have a pretty good grasp on that now. So basically everyone says the Thrawn series, so that seems like that's where I'll start, because I think I have to double check. I have to go in and make sure I have inventory of what I have there. I'm pretty sure those are in there. I started using Goodreads app as a way to just kind of track what I have and what I would like to have, and what I've read and all that. So I checked out a bunch of different apps, and Goodreads is not perfect for exactly what I was looking for, but it's pretty good. It's like the closest thing I could find for what I wanted. I just basically wanted an app for keeping track of inventory of what I have and what I would like to get. I don't really care about like setting daily goals for myself and like doing all that, reading challenges and everything. Star Wars are legendary. I mean, don't really need to read the appendix unless you needed it during the main story. Yeah, I kind of excuse me, I feel like there's like something I need to cough, like a good cough, but yeah, like the back end, like the last bit of the Dune book, it's like stuff that probably would have been good to read like before. Like I've seen like a bunch, because I've like kind of what got me into wanting to read it was because I enjoyed the movies and I wanted to know more about the lore. So like I've seen like a bunch of different YouTube videos about different aspects of the lore. So kind of already know, and of course having seen the movies. But I mean, if you were coming into reading the book and you hadn't seen the movies, didn't know anything about the lore, I mean, reading the back like appendix parts and also like there's like a glossary too, just kind of what like some of the words mean and things like that. Like that stuff, it would be like quite beneficial, I feel like, to read before like starting to read the book, because it gives you a lot of good information that I don't know, kind of helps set the stage for you a bit before you kind of get into the main story, or at least to read, like, you know, start reading the story and then kind of skip to the back and read read those bits and then kind of get back into the story or something like that. But like reading those bits at the end now, after I'm already done with the book, it's kind of like, yeah, you don't need to. I'm just doing it just to be a completionist, because I feel like, you know, I haven't actually finished reading the whole book until I've actually read the whole book, kind of thing. So that's why I could just opt not to read it. Although, like the glossary parts are probably like the least necessary for me. The appendixes are pretty interesting because they're basically just like extra chapters of the book. Like, I'm a big fan of Watership Down, and if you guys have ever read Watership Down, and in particular if you've ever read then Tales of Watership Down, which is just kind of like it's not a sequel book, it's more of like an expanded universe book. It just kind of gives you more background stories, kind of like more of like the lore stories. It's kind of like that. That's basically kind of what the appendixes are for Dune. It's just kind of expanded lore. So it's cool. I like it. I mean, I could have just watched like a couple minute YouTube video to read more about like Dr. Kynes' father. What is it? Pardo Kynes? But that's what's going on now. Let's see. Since this is the USA Gundam channel, could you guys contact Javi the Hong for occasional MG review? Your feelings for her aren't real. Vader's last words, interesting. Zach lives in Florida. It's a lot easier. Yeah, I mean, like, I basically moved to Florida to work here. It was not that like I happened to live in Florida. Because I was already working. I was already working for Adam even before I moved, when I was still living in Korea. So anyway, yeah, I think the location, I mean, if we wanted, for example, to work with somebody like Javi, the location wouldn't be the issue. It's just that, you know, if it was just something that Adam wanted to do, we as a company, or not to speak for the company, but, you know, just if it's something that we wanted to do, the location, I don't think would be the issue. Does he still do Gunpla stuff though? I mean, I don't follow his channel, but I mean, last I knew, I don't think that he's done a whole lot of Gunpla stuff for quite a while. Could be wrong. I suppose probably am wrong, but if I am, feel free to correct me. But no, there's not a ton. It's not only USAGS, but other stores as well. You may have noticed. I mean, there's not a ton of like sponsoring kind of going on in the same way that it used to be, and that's for a couple of different reasons. But anyway, yeah. All right, let's move on to the legs. The arms are done. His last video was the Zeta Verka. Oh, okay. So be it. Did he save all the memes? Did he say swivel here and something butt jokes and all that? Has he changed or is he still the same? I haven't watched any of his videos for a long time. More focus on figures and transformers. I mean, I don't know. I don't know the size of his channel. I think he's also probably I don't know of him, but he's also probably big enough too that sponsorship would not be I mean, if I had to guess, for what he would want for sponsorship would not only entail like the model kits themselves, but probably actually being paid as well. He started using stop motion again here and there. That's cool. That takes a lot of time. So, I mean, I can understand not wanting to do a ton of that if that's not like his main thing. But considering just like kind of the variety and just like the content that he's putting out, I can understand why that's not the kind of thing that you can put into like every video. These cool clear parts that go inside the thruster bells there. But we've got a bunch of parts here for this first part of the leg. So we've got this one here. Like that. All right, let's not derail into another channel. Yes. He has a long-standing partnership with Showzi's store. Okay, anyway. Magnus, Zach said it's in, just getting unpacked. Oh, yes. Yeah, Magnus Prime. Yeah. So it's like literally just arrived. And so, yes, if you have it on pre-order, it will probably not ship until next week, but it has just arrived here. There, yeah, like I said, just in the midst of starting to unload it and do all that. So coming soon. Don't know how far. Hang on. Okay, good. I think that's right. Okay. There was like a particular orientation of that part, and I just wanted to make sure I had that right. Interesting. I think the moving parts for the knee joint are going to be pretty cool when we get there. Gosh, I can't wait for Saturday and Sunday. Saturday is going to be fun, build day. I'm looking forward to that. I'll be doing the Gunpla workshop in the morning as well. It's also my birthday, as I mentioned, which I normally don't like mention or make a big deal about, but just putting that out there. It's gonna be on Saturday, so I think hopefully maybe I'll be able to my wife and I will get to do something fun in the evening, and the kids of course too, go out to dinner or something like that. I mean, something fun as a family. What kind of bases are this and the GUS compatible with? That's something I'm wondering about as well, and I don't know if I'll be able to answer that today during the live stream, but I'll try to find out for the review, because this is unfortunately, as nice as this kit is, just from my experience so far, one thing that is a little bit disappointing is that it doesn't come with a stand. A lot of these third-party kits like this these days are including stands, which is cool, you know, but this one unfortunately does not. So it is something that I'm interested to test out myself. Okay, this knee this knee joint was like kind of weird the way it was going together, but I get it now. We had to put these parts together like here on the side, and then it fits up into the middle of that part there. So you can kind of see how the piston detail and like the armor on the top of the thigh is undoubtedly gonna slide there. This part actually that we're putting on right now. That. So yeah, when we bend the knee, that front small panel of the top of the thigh will slide. Happy birthday to my fellow February birthday. Yes, barely. I'm coming in on the very last day of February, the 28th. And happy birthday to you too. If you're also a February birthday, your birthday is probably already passed, I would guess, as the month's almost over. Happy birthday to you too. Have a good one. Thank you. Yeah, buying those Star Wars books was my birthday present to myself. In case you guys are in case someone's gonna ask, like, am I getting any Gunpla or anything like that? I usually don't get Gunpla or any kind of model things for like my birthday or Christmas or anything like that. I don't know, not exactly the right comparison maybe, but I mean, imagine it's sort of I don't know what would be a good comparison. I don't know. Anyway, I have plenty of models, which is a part of my job, right? So I don't need there's other things that I would like to get if I'm just getting stuff like as like actual birthday presents, right? All right, quite the knees on this guy. This is a whole big knee thing that's just jutting out there. That's gonna go here. This bit that we already put together is gonna go here. Wait, like that. We've got a few different parts that go in between. So let's see if I can figure out which ones are correct. This was one of the bits that I know when I was cutting out the parts. There's a couple of these little things that I was not sure if these were exactly the right parts that I needed. This one. I think those are just kind of extras. Let's see. Oh, this is definitely like a smaller one, I think, here in the back. Just like that. And then there should be another one. Here it is. For like the pistons of the ankles here. So that goes like that. Okay. This one here. And then we can put this together. Kind of like the excess. Yeah, the knees are a bit like the excess with how excessive they are, except the excess ones I think actually move. This is just kind of like fixed. This whole knee section here is fixed to the lower part of the leg. Kind of would have been cool if it was a separate thing. These thruster here at the back, when that slides out, these parts kind of like open up a bit there. It's pretty cool. Will that slide out? Kind of. When you bend the knee, I think you kind of have to manually extend that out a bit to kind of get out of the way of the knee bend there a little bit. But okay, next. Oh, we need to bend that because there's this piece that goes on the inside. I think this one. Let's see if it fits. If it fits, then I think it's correct. I think it's correct. Okay. Next. This and this. Can you attach weapon in the knees? So like a beam saber or something? Yeah, it has something in the knee. I don't remember. We'll get to it here in just a second. But yeah, like the knee is not just a big thing sticking out. There is actually parts that go in there. These pistons at the front and at the back of the ankles here as well. Like that and that. Okay, then we gotta set that aside for a minute to start on the feet. There, so there's another little bit. I'm worried if I have it in the wrong spot. I think that I do. Another little part. I think I might have put in here. Or where did I put that? Here. Gotcha. Sometimes when I'm going through the parts and getting everything cut out and all that, there'll just be like one part on the runner that I can't figure out where it goes, and I'm like flipping back and forth in the manual and I just can't find it. And so what I'll do is I'll just cut it out and just kind of put it in one of the spots, like so where I know where it is. So whenever I'm going through the actual construction, I get to a point where like, okay, there's a part here. Here's where I need that part that I couldn't figure out where it went earlier. So that's what just happened there. I mean, like I've been saying, when people ask about my building method like this, and say like, I don't know how you could cut all the parts out like that. Don't you like mix the parts up or whatever? No, even when there's a part like I don't know where it goes or something like that, I mean, you still have all the parts there. You can pretty easily figure it out. Although I wonder if that's not the right part. I think it is not. So see, like, this is a perfect example. I'll show you just what I mean. So here is this little part here that goes in at the end of the toe. And I was trying to put that together and it wasn't quite closing up all the way. There was a little bit of a gap. And I realized, oh, I have this other part which looks very similar, and looking at it in the manual, it's kind of not clear which one is right, because they have the same like kind of square shape pegs on the side, right? But this big one, I thought what goes there, and it's going to be kind of difficult to get out. By that part not closing up all the way, kind of makes me think that maybe that was not the right one. And so just by a matter of trying it and it didn't fit properly, so even though these two parts are, you know, very similar, I was able to figure out that I had the wrong part in there. I have no idea what number that part is, but I could figure it out just because it didn't fit right. Now I tried the other one and now it fits perfectly. So you see that even when most of the time that you really don't even need to have any idea what the part number is, but even in the cases where you might feel confused as to which part's which, you can usually figure it out just by process of elimination. That's all it takes. There is another little piston. There it is. I couldn't find. All right, now it's a matter of trying to get these lined up and connected. Oop. Oop. Almost. Yeah. Got it. Nice. There we go. Pistons at the front and at the back. They're very cool. And you're still able, because those are attached via ball joints, you're still able to bend the ankle side to side there too. Rotation is going to be a little bit limited, but you usually aren't like rotating the foot that much, I feel like, but you are able to get a little bit there. So that's really cool. Very nice. Very, very nice. I need to silence my phone. I'm tired of hearing it bleeping. Sorry about that. The knee is a slot to store the beam saber hilts. Yeah, that's what I thought I remembered. That's what I figured was the case. The knee armor parts are slightly different. I think they're just a different color. Because you have these among your leftover parts. You've got a set that are not used, but I think it's just because they're white and they're supposed to be gray. So if you wanted them to be white, you could have them be white. The majority, it seems like, I think we have like all the leftover parts. Like I said, I'll have to test this to be sure. I think we have all the leftover parts to make the original Gus head. The rest of the leftover parts are mostly just recolor bits, where the color needed to be different from what was on there before. So that's that. Okay. And this is this part here. In there. Oh, really? Oh, okay. It seemed like that was not fitting in there correctly, but I think it's just one of those situations where it kind of doesn't feel quite right until you actually get it all together, and then it'll be okay. So we got that. What's next? This. clear part. Like that. On the front of there, yep, here's the beam saber handle. It's going to go into the front of the knee. So that opens up, and this just plugs on into there. Is there going to actually plug into anything? No, it's going to kind of rest in there, and then you close it up, and it just kind of keeps it in place. There is also going to be these parts here on the side of the knee. There's a couple of other little bits I need to kind of get back to. I'm just kind of skipping around a bit for a moment because I don't want to deal with those tiny little parts, but we're going to have to. So it's there, that's there. The little parts on there. Try that again. Oh, that is... I think I have those other parts upside down. I have to take those off. These parts here. It didn't... It shows in the manual there's like a certain way that they go. And I looked at that and I couldn't tell. I was like, oh, I don't know what that's trying to say. But now I see it. I do have them backwards. There we go. That's better. And then these also have a certain way, except that it's just like rounded part on the outside. Okay. Easy enough. Promise I will get back to those tiny little parts that I skipped. I'm just kind of promising to myself. Can move ahead at least till the end of this page. The feet, these armor parts for the feet are also another option that you have. Instead of black, you can have them in red if you want, which is kind of the more typical kind of Gundam color. And I think the red feet actually probably would look pretty good here and here. But I like to stick to what's in the manual. And then if you guys want to mix it up a little bit on yours, by all means, you can make it red instead of black. Yeah, if you want to paint it, you can make whatever color you want. All right. So let's get this foot part on here. And then, as promised, I'll go back and finish these other little teeny little parts here, the other bits that I didn't cut completely. I cut completely off the runner, but I left a little bit extra on there just so as not to lose them. HDIBO mobile armor from Erd Hunt. Was there a cool mobile armor from that thing? I never see it. What did it ultimately end up being? Like an anime? Or like a movie kind of thing, right? Or it was like a phone thing? I didn't follow it. Again, guys, as I was saying about like when it comes to like the Gundam card game and Gundam Assemble, all that, models is always going to be like my main focus. It's hard to follow like everything. For some reason, these tiny little circle parts that have no reason to have any kind of particular orientation to them are not like a circle peg, but like a D-shaped peg, so you have to put them in like a certain way. I don't know why necessarily, but okay. That should be another little guy that goes on the top of there, where Where is that? Don't know. Is that also in my leftover parts here? It is. Another part that I apparently couldn't figure out where it went. Collage of IBO game animations. Okay, yeah, that's why I thought it was something like that. And I had heard, basically not great reviews. I haven't heard a whole lot about it, but I've just heard that it's not great. And I mean, I guess if it's just like, yeah, if it's just a collection. I mean, I don't know, just being a collection of game cutscenes. Certainly not a bad thing. I mean, I'm a huge fan of basically watching Metal Gear cutscenes in like those compilation videos where it's just basically like watching a movie version of the Metal Gear games. You can just watch on YouTube. I'm a big fan of those. But yeah, I mean, that's kind of like, that's a whole different thing. We got this. This is kind of the only thing. So I think that up until this point, basically the entire leg is all asymmetrical, except just the direction of the part here you turn at the top. So it could have been all ×2 up until that point. It's this part, which is also ×2 technically, but it's this part here that goes on the side that for the left or the right leg, it'll either go on the left or the right side. Just another little kind of missile pod thingy. Like with the shoulders. I didn't really show that to you guys, the shoulders, but anyway, this one here on the side of the leg, that just pops up in there like that. Little micro missiles, whatever that pop out of there. Okay, and this part will go like this. It's like the connection piece here for that. So that little square sort of polycap shaped piece that I was confused about earlier with the foot actually goes here for the side of the leg. Just right into the side there like that. And I think if you like extend that out, you can kind of adjust the angle of it a little bit. Not a ton. Mostly it's just kind of there. Flush on the side of the leg. We can pop out these thruster bells there a little bit like that. Pop out the little micro missiles. Pop out the, just launch out of there. The beam saber handle. There's nothing really holding it in place except when that's closed up. When it's closed, it's firm and it's not like, it's not going to fall out. It is like, there's a little bit of a rattle there. But, and then this bit here at the back opens up. I wish that this part at the top kind of, you have to kind of like do it manually a little bit there to open that up, which is fine. But there you go. That's the leg. Quite the beefy leg too. A whole bunch of stuff there. Let's get this in. Get the other leg on. I would like to maybe possibly just skip the other leg, do that off camera, and just skip to the backpack. But we're here. We're going to see that movie to make a very, very extremely deep cut reference there that, I don't know, I bet no one, I wouldn't expect any of you to pick up on the "you're here, see my movie" reference. But hey, if anybody does, I will literally give you this kit. I can't promise that actually. I can't literally, but I will be at the very least thoroughly impressed. And yeah, it's a good one. It's probably the only line that I remember from that movie too. It's a movie that I've not seen in a long time. Is USAGS normally open for business on Saturday build days? Yes. So we're normally not open on Saturdays at all, except for when it's build day. So when it's build day, yes, the storefront's open. You can buy stuff. You can, I was gonna say if you order stuff online, you can pick it up. That's not always the case, but that can be the case. I would call ahead and talk to customer service if that's something that you're interested in doing to see if it's possible for you. Because I think that sometimes people do that, but it's not always available, just kind of depending on your order, depending on what's on your order, all that. So I don't want to say for sure, but did I say the reference already? No, I have not, David. Question above for context. Oh, okay. Can check this Saturday. Himodi. Quick question: did you guys get a restock of the SNA Lancelot semi-recently? I'm on the email list and I saw that when I spam. I don't know the answer to that, and even if we did, it's possible that we did, and now it's sold out again already. So I don't know. I would just basically check on the website. If it shows that it's in stock on the website, then we've got it. If it is not, then we do not. It's probably the best thing that I can tell you. There is a slight possibility that we're sold out on the website, but we have like one in the storefront that's still available. I don't think that that's the case, but I mean, like, there is a remote possibility that that could be the case. Not likely. Tragic. Yes. I don't know. So yeah, if it says sold out on the website, then yeah, that restock did not last long. Sorry that I don't know for sure the answer to that. Let's turn the page, shall we? Yes. Ooh. Do you guys have tools to rent in the store? Not tools to rent, but I mean, I loan tools to people all the time. Like when people are there for build day, like people ask me like for help. How do you do this, whatever, and David can attest to it. I'll usually just be like, oh, hang on just a second, I'll just come in here to my office and grab whatever tool, and I'll just either like help do it for them or help show them how to do it or let them borrow the tool or whatever. Yes, that has been certainly known to happen, but it's not like a thing that we do, like tool rental. Yeah, I have very often let people use my tools or use tools for people. Okay, well, there's a couple of pieces that should be around here. Where are they? Missile pods are sick. Yeah, they're pretty cool. Taking the thruster rail inlay, yes. The thruster rail inlay is pretty cool because it's a clear part, which looks kind of cool. It honestly could be in like a silver or gold or something. Would look really cool inside there as well. But like just the detail, aside from this separate clear part, just the detail on the inside is pretty cool as well there. Oh no, it looks like I've even. Unfortunately, so like in the middle part, it's like a little pointed bit. It looks like somehow I kind of damaged that pointed bit a little there, unfortunately. It's supposed to be kind of more pointed. Anyway, yep, giving you guys a last moment to see if anybody can pick up on my "you're here, see my movie" reference. That's the kind of thing that I'd think that you probably wouldn't even like. A lot of like movie references and stuff you could just like Google and it would come up, but even that's so deep that I don't even think Googling it probably wouldn't even bring up anything. I feel like I'm missing like a couple of pieces here. Is that or just okay? Well, here's one of that I was looking for. That solves that. There's the other opposite end of that. Okay. Where's the other part of this? There it is. Oh, still super zoomed in, aren't I? Sorry about that. How's the fitting so far, Calvin? Really good. Really, really nice so far. What camera do you use for the build cam? It's a Sony Alpha 6400. Do you guys expect to restock Mr. Color anytime soon? Yeah, I don't know the answer to that. And so I don't know when. We will, as far as I know, we will get more Mr. Color paint. But it might be the case that it does start to become a little bit more limited as far as what we're actually able to get, and by that it just being like what is sent over to the US, unfortunately. So I don't know about like if any of that's like confirmed, but if you're noticing shortages already, based on what little I know and what little I know is not like really confirmed, I just would say that I would not expect the situation to really improve much. But yeah, like I said, Mr. Hobby paints will still be around. They'll still be a thing. It's just that they might have, fewer color options available, readily available. Anyway, like I said, nothing's. I think until I know what I can tell you guys for sure, I won't say anything else more about it. But yeah, anyway, there it is. Last Action Hero. That is not correct, but an interesting guess because, okay, so I'll just tell you guys. The quote is from Look Who's Talking, and I'm pretty sure it's Look Who's Talking 1, not like 2 or 3. I know there's a few of those movies, and some of you guys probably have no idea even what the heck movie that is. You probably never even heard of it. It was before there was Baby Geniuses? Boss Baby? Well, there's Baby Geniuses and then Boss Baby 2 are also a thing, right? But Look Who's Talking was like the original Babies Talking movie series. Anyway, and yeah, there was a bit where I could even be remembering this wrong because it's been forever since I've seen the movie. But as far as I can remember, there's a bit where John Travolta, I'm pretty sure it is, takes his kid or something to the movie theater, and they're trying to decide what to watch. And John Travolta is doing an impression of Arnold Schwarzenegger, which is why I said it's interesting that you said Last Action Hero. He's doing an impression of Arnold Schwarzenegger and saying, "You're here, see my movie," like that. Because there was some Arnold Schwarzenegger movie playing. It might have been Last Action Hero in like within the movie, within Look Who's Talking. Wasn't there also a Look Who's Talking in that series? There was another one where the pets talked too, I believe, wasn't there? I feel like I'm correct in that. I'm not entirely sure. I feel like that was a thing. Or maybe it was always the pets talking, was it? It was babies, wasn't it? And then there was one where the pets talked as well. Or anyway, yeah. old movies, but I should rewatch that. I feel like my kids would just laugh hysterically watching those movies, so I should watch them with my kids. Be the kind of thing that would just crack them up. And then I could have a laugh at that old line that I remember. "You're here, see my movie." Classic. Bruce Willis voice of Little Mikey, was it? Classic. Never even heard of it. Yeah, they're popular in the 90s, I think. I looked up the quote, I kept getting Arnold Schwarzenegger references. Yeah, that's funny. It's funny that I don't know, like, what was it referencing from Arnold Schwarzenegger? Because, I mean, like I said, that's John Travolta's doing an impression of Arnold Schwarzenegger when he's doing the voice, but I don't know. Maybe he does say that actually in Last Action Hero. Maybe. I love like classic Arnold Schwarzenegger movies, but Last Action Hero I think is one that I've maybe only seen like maybe once, like a long time ago. It's like all other ones like Total Recall, the Running Man, the other ones like I've seen like many times, but not Last Action Hero. True Lies I've seen a number of times. What's the other one where he's like a detective and there's like somebody with like a demon, and then what's that? That one also is one that I think I've only ever seen like maybe once or twice, maybe. Not a lot. You know what I'm talking about? It's something hell. It's not like Gates of Hell or something like that. End of Days. Thank you. That's what it is. You're right. Yeah. Not bad. I mean, like, it's a bit more like serious, which, I mean, if you want to watch like a good like classic Arnold movie, you're not watching it to watch like a serious movie. I feel like End of Days should have had like Harrison Ford or something in it. That's when like he would have been good, like coming off of like The Fugitive or Air Force One, movies like that. Oops. I don't know. End of Days, I guess, was like a little silly, just like the premise, but a little too serious for Arnold, I think, especially at that time. Eraser was goof. That's another one. I think I've maybe only seen it like once. Yeah, that was when he was doing a couple of like serious kind of action movies like that, wasn't he? Yeah, I forgot about Eraser. Yeah. He was trying to get away from like the campy stuff a little bit and do a bit more kind of serious action movies. But the camp is always where the charm was at, so. I mean, to be fair, I guess he did do like Predator, which is pretty serious. But it has like that built-in kind of campy charm of being like a monster, alien monster movie. But like a very seriously well done monster movie. But you know what I mean? feel like if anything, where does this go? I mean, Jesse the body was hamming it up more than Arnold in Predator. Like coming from his wrestling background sort of makes sense, right? Ugh. Close up. There you go. Couldn't quite get those to snug into place. Now going to go into what I like to call freeform assembly, where I'm just going to start putting pieces on, completely disregarding order, and hope that, because I can remember construction well enough from building the first leg that I kind of know where everything goes, just that I might shoot myself in the foot if I start putting something together that needs like something else on first. But wish me luck here. Let's see. For the most part, this is all kind of fine. What killed the dinosaurs? I said, yeah, I mean, everybody knows that Arnold was by far the best thing in that Batman Forever, right? Batman Forever. I mean, talk about campy. Whoo-wee. That was on a whole other level. Are you going to be difficult here? I loved Lucas talking when I was a kid. Haven't seen it over 20 years. Yeah, same. It's been a long time. I'm going to look it up. Will one of you guys save me the trouble and look it up real quick? What streaming service that's on? It's probably I'm going to say like on... Well, I was going to guess like Plex or something, but that doesn't always show up. I found like when like you're searching like what streaming service to watch, something, it'll do like HBO, Hulu, Netflix, Apple. Or it doesn't always show the free streaming services when you search for stuff like that. So there's like I think Tubi usually shows up. I feel like Plex does not. And there's another one too I feel like I'm forgetting. Maybe it's just that. It might be on like Tubi or it's like Freevee, which is just Amazon. Okay, good. Yeah, I think we're good on all that. This piece here. Cool. Got that. Okay, then it's just these couple little tiny bits. Camera's dead. Thank you. Yes. Red toes on that foot. Huh? Gonna need to make sure I have some time for the camera batteries to charge before starting the second live build of the day with the Barbatos Lupus later. Gonna need some time in between. Would also be nice to have some time in between to like eat lunch, just like chill for a minute. But we should be done with this one here pretty soon. I think Rent is the only option. What is Rent? Is that a streaming service? I've never heard of that. You can probably get it from a Redbox outside a Walgreens. Done. Man, this thing is chunky. Ooh, just gonna get everything all lined up here. There's some beefy legs in particular. Ooh, oh. We're all out of focus. Sorry about that. Get the hot dogs for lunch. There are no hot dogs, but I have leftover pasta and I need to cut my fingernails. Sorry about that. Check it out. It's got those big beefy like Hazel. In terms of like the proportions, it reminds me a lot of like the Hazel Custom. Big knees, like big, huge, chunky legs. Big feet. Yeah. Proportionally, it is kind of very similar to that, isn't it? Okay, set that aside. Let's do that backpack. Yes, yes, yes. I miss Redbox. Do you, though? I mean, it was revolutionary for a very brief moment in time. I mean, once you started to get the well, it was only the knees had a subarms for holding beam saber. That would have been cool. Yeah, with big giant knees like that, would have been cool to have something built into them, like a subarm or something. Yeah, kind of a shame. Maybe on a future version. I'm trying to find a good way to get these clear parts into the thruster bells without damaging the little spiky bit there in the middle. Or damaging my finger trying to push them on there onto the spiky bits. Redbox had the mailing service too, right? Was that Redbox or was that something else? The DVD mailing service that they would mail them to you. That was also Redbox, wasn't it? For some reason, I'm second guessing myself. I'm thinking that Redbox was only the vending machines, but then I think they also had the. What was the? That was Netflix. Was it? No, I'm confused. I don't even remember. It was such a brief time, like a couple years in between, like when video rental stores were just like going extinct, and then like streaming just became the thing, right? There was a little brief time there between when it was like mail service DVDs. It was Netflix, right? Netflix started out by mailing. Yeah, it was Netflix. Okay, yeah. I would thought that the Redbox also had something like that, but maybe not, because it makes sense. Redbox, I mean, it's just the box, just the vending machine. K10Mo, yeah, it would be pretty cool in Titan's test team colors. I mean, I'm assuming you're talking about like the what is it called, the Black Otters or whatever, like the dark blue color scheme is probably what you're talking about. But I mean, it's kind of in like the regular kind of Hazel custom colors, or close to that already, minus the red up there. Okay, backpack. I got a whole bunch of these little thingies here I'm going to cut off when we need them. Didn't want those to go missing. Okay. All right. larger parts here for the backpack that didn't fit into my box. I'm gonna set them to the side. We've got this one here. That's it. That. Could you redo AI hobby aid? Using AI to dig more info about hobby stuff from non-English sites or forums. What do you mean exactly? I think I kind of vaguely know what you're asking, but if you could clarify, I kind of don't know exactly what you mean. Also, any heads up or hints on the new competition? Oh, yeah, so the new competition, yeah, so this is also something that was already supposed to be started by now, but just because of my family stuff that I've had going on, just kind of haven't been able to get this rolled out to you guys quite yet. Hints. It's going to be a model building competition, painting, so like painting, customizing is definitely going to be an important factor. It will not be using Gundam models, and they will be fairly small kind of kits, but that's it. I won't say anything more about it. Okay. So more information on that. I will try to have that announced for you guys very soon. Like I said, just this past month I basically missed like kind of like 2 weeks. Just from all that, and between going back and forth to my hometown and then going to Vegas for that, yeah, like half the month almost I was away. And so then now that I'm back in my office, after doing all that traveling, all that, I just have a lot of this to catch up on, kits to build. So that's been what I'm trying to work on this week. And then, yeah, maybe next week I'll try to get the last bit of details sorted out for you guys so that we can get that contest underway. Yeah, so here's the center part of the backpack. There's 9 of these thruster bells, 3 in the center part and then 3 on each side. There's a lot. And yeah, these clear parts are kind of a pain to get in there, literally, because there's a little, it's like a thumbtack basically. There's a little spike sticking up in the middle, so you can't just push them in directly. And then like pushing them in like from the side, you need to be able to like push in both sides at once. So it's like this, right? And you push in one side and it just goes like that, and you push in the other side and it goes like that. So yeah. Anyway. Shinanju backpack, yeah, it is sort of similar to the Shinanju backpack in kind of the general shape, having like the center bank of thruster bells and then like the 2 side ones. Small kit, HGC Neos Young, smaller than that. Yep. But you will have to customize, you'll have to paint. I mean, I guess like it's not going to be a requirement to enter, but it's going to be recommended if you want to win. I need to figure out who are going to be the guest judges as well. I think I know one person who would make sense. It's just a matter of other one. Think about that. Like I said, there's just a few minor details to kind of work out, and then we'll get that underway. I wonder if I could maybe use, is there a part here I could use for pushing this on? No, this might work. This is what you need, like a kind of circular part to be able to push the clear part on. Now that I'm on like the last one, it's kind of late now, but you need something to be able to push those on without. Oh, that works, yeah, really well. Too bad I didn't discover that earlier. Make sure the rest of these are pushed on good and well while we're here. Okay, cool. Warhammer, no, but I do have a fairly new friend in the Warhammer space, don't I? Who would probably make for a good judge if we're talking about painting little stuff. That's not it. But that is, actually, that is it. Okay. That's not that. Okay, let's see if we can find all the pieces that I need here for this part. So we got this red piece. Or not. Or yes. Okay. That goes in the top. This part here on the bottom. That part there. Some just, yeah, really nice part separation on this kit. The fit's been great. As of course is typically what happens when I say that. As soon as I say that, there's like a part that just didn't want to go in there. But the fit has been great on everything. The kit seems to be pretty solid without the, you know, like there's definitely a trend these days. A lot of these third-party kits using metal frame parts, which I'm not a huge fan of. I just prefer just to kind of, you know, call me old-fashioned, but give me an old, just, you know, full plastic inner frame. But a lot of people like the metal inner frames, and they do add a little bit more stability, I guess, kind of. I mean, when it comes to just adding stability to the kits, I would prefer just something like we saw with like the Aerial Dominator Osiris kit, where you just have the joints designed in a way so that they kind of like have locking mechanisms and things like that, for especially if it's like a bigger, heavier design. Just make the joints so that they like lock together, and you know, try to mitigate the weight issues by just sticking with just using plastic rather than having to use metal parts. Would be my preference. But this one, with it being like kind of as big and bulky as it is, I am wondering if weight might be an issue. We will see. Does USA Gundam Store have their own paint lineup? No, we do not. And I don't expect that that'll be something that we ever probably will have. I've talked about this before, but like when it comes to stuff like that, it's kind of gimmicky. Like a lot of those, like people or stores or just like small, like not like major paint brands, but anybody that has like kind of their own paint lines and stuff like that. A lot of it's just the same paint, just repackaged from the same factory. It's just repackaged with a different label on it to tell a little, probably not so secret. And so, I mean, we here at USA Gundam Store anyway, we sell a lot of different paints, and so why make, you know, a different paint that's, you know, exactly the same paint, just rebranded, that we would have had to pay for the rebranding for, that we're selling already anyway, kind of thing. So you can see why it just kind of wouldn't really make a whole lot of sense, wouldn't really be worth it. And we're just kind of like competing with ourselves, with other brands that we're already selling, kind of thing. So. The problem with metal frame is if, say, the hip peg can be too smooth. Oh yeah. That is true. Problem with metal is that by its nature, by that like nice shiny look that a lot of people like about them, that can cause the parts to be kind of ultimately more loose, because you have that polished shiny metal. There's less friction there, right? So okay, we're gonna cap this side. And scoot all that stuff out of the way for a minute, because now we have to cut off all these little teeny tiny circle bits and try not to lose any. Maybe just do a few at a time here. Just did War of the Gods, Baphomet, and the WT of the legs. Made the legs come off. Oh, I think that's fit of the legs. Oh, the weight of the legs. Got it. Yeah. Yep. That's another reason why, like, these big kits, like this one is big, surely, like MG size, if not even like a little bit larger. Just it's probably like the size of like a larger MG like this, Ninja Stein. I'll show you a comparison with. But with the larger kits, the weight is more of an issue as well. So I mean, that's kind of why I do like a lot of like the smaller ones, like the Sheik mainline kits, like the SNAA kits. I mean, with the Sheik mainline kits in particular, the designs themselves are like a bit simpler too. You don't have like a ton of parts and like big elaborate backpacks and weapons and all that kind of stuff. They're just kind of a little bit simpler designs, which I like. But even on stuff like the SNAA kits, where the designs are a bit more elaborate, you still just, in that size, this weight is not as much of an issue that you have to worry about as you do with the larger kits like this. So after this, we just have we have the fuel tanks, which will take a minute. And then the rifle and shield. That's about it. Yeah, no stand, unfortunately. I do wish that we would have got a stand with this. There is like a base connector part kind of thing here, but I don't really know what base this is meant to go with. Actually, now, like, looking at the size of this looks like it probably will fit in like the Bandai action base connector, like the square connector bit, which is usually used more for like the 144 scale bases, I feel like. We'll see. I'll let you know in the review. I'll try it out, but that looks to be like probably what that'll fit into. All right. It's the last of these. Sorry, I didn't want to. Normally, I don't like to be removing nubs during the live stream, but just little parts like this, I'm worried about losing them. Especially when they're important for adding this very nice little bit of yellow accent here on the backpack. See, without makes a big difference there. Little yellow verniers, I guess, maybe theoretically is what they're supposed to be, possibly. All right, let me just have these connection bits, and I think I have everything here, looks like. This one's like that. Nothing too fancy. It's nothing too for like backpack kind of parts like this too. You don't want anything too like overcomplicated sometimes for like the connections for parts like this. Can just overcomplicate things. Right, so there's our backpack. We're very boosty, but actually, then we still have the actual thruster bells to put on, so let's get those on before we try attaching this onto the back, because I feel like it might be kind of difficult to do so otherwise. So that's gonna go like that. This is actually ×2. I think this is like the first time in the entire build that we're doing something actually ×2. Oh, those are parts that I've got in the wrong spot. When I was cutting out the parts for this, at first, I was putting like the parts for the thruster barrels in with the parts for the weapons, because I thought like there was going to be a lot of parts for the backpack. But then it turns out there was not as much for the backpack as I was expecting. I still don't see the parts that I'm looking for. Oh, okay. It's just that. Okay, it's these parts, and they're just like at an odd angle. Okay. Is there like any certain way they're just gonna go on there like that? Okay, there we go. All right. What was that? This one here. All right. Okay. An interesting construction for this bit there. Everything's got like notches to them, so there's like a certain way that everything needs to go on. Two of these little bits here. Huh? Okay. Interesting. Everything okay, right? Hello, Billy Burns. These are definitely in the wrong spot. Okay. think it should be like that. This one here. It's 1, 2, 3, 4 of those. Okay. Hello. Okay, gotcha. Just making sure I'm paying attention to the chat there. Pretty complex thruster bells. Another thing that I will say when it comes to just like kind of personal design preferences, I like the more simple thruster bells. You see this a lot with like a lot of like resin kits or kits that are like designed based on resin kits and stuff, where got like thruster bell designs like this where they're just like really complex, have like a whole bunch of stuff going on. I kind of prefer the more just simple, like what like Bandai usually has for theirs. Just like a simple tube. That's it. I mean, thinking like it kind of makes sense like realistically too. Like thinking about it, it's kind of that they're essentially meant to be disposable. They're meant to be that they can be jettisoned when they're all used up, right? And so it would basically, I mean, just look at like the real world like space shuttle fuel tanks. So here's our backpack. It's just gonna plug in just the simple plug like that. Looks kind of similar to like the Seed MG backpacks, I feel like. It is gonna make us pretty back heavy, but it's got such beefy legs that it's still standing up. And you guys are kind of seeing it from the wrong angle, I'm sorry, but it's still standing up without too much issue there, like that. Get these last few bits out for the weapons. I can put this down. I think it's safe to put the head on now too. I've been waiting on that because I didn't want to accidentally damage the V-fin at any point, but I think we're probably safe. Woo! Don't want to lose any parts of it. You guys heard that part bouncing across the floor. Fortunately, it was a very big part, easy to hear. And I'm gonna zoom out, give you guys kind of a more full look, angle the thruster bells down so they're not in the way. Yeah, these skirt armor parts, front skirts, not like the armor, just the front skirts entirely, feel like are gonna be popping off easily, which is gonna be a little annoying. But here's how we're looking so far. Pretty cool looking for sure. Maybe it's not like the best way to show you guys. All right. Weapons. We've got them. The shield. Huh? There we go. Shield is this big, massive chunk. Some nice detail, but not very complex by any means. Part of me that loves the fantasy looks says to disregard reality when it comes to mech designs. Yeah, I mean, that's fair. Just personal preference, you know. Myself, being less of a fantasy fan and more of a science fiction fan, especially like if future space kind of sci-fi stuff. Less of a fantasy fan. So that's pretty much the gist of the shield. You have like a big connection arm here that I'm going to put together for the back, but that's pretty much it. Shield reminds me of the Asgard shield. Yeah, a bit. It doesn't have like the Asgard shield had those big things on the side though too. Didn't it? Oh, let us not forget this part. Right, there's a whole other plate. There we go. That certainly changes the look quite a bit, having that big white plate on the front. Almost forgot about that. Okay. We got this one. We're gonna need that. We're gonna need this part here, which is gonna go at the top there. At the bottom is gonna be this little square dealy. That is probably the other part that I didn't know where that went. Which there's two of maybe. Should mention while I've got it here, the little center jewel there in between the V-fin, you also have that part in red if you prefer instead of black. Again, it's kind of a little bit more traditional Gundam color being in red. If you wanted to go that route. These other couple little bits here I think are for this part. There should be two of them, right? Yeah. Okay. For the shield connection arm. Like that. This is gonna go in between. It's quite the elaborate connection arm for the shield. I guess this is maybe gonna plug into where? The back of the arm or what? I don't get it. That's just like that. Got this whole big thing, and then this is what? Okay. And going on there like that. So, okay. That's like the actual handle there. We'll see about that. All right. For the rifle, this has a whole bunch of parts. Quite a lot of parts here for just the rifle. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 parts here for this camera on the top. This part is, well, it's W4, that's this one. I like the barrel, I think. W6 and O4. What color is O? O is yellow. This one. Okay. Or that gives us that nice little yellow stripe on there. That's pretty cool. Some clear blue over here. That in there, right? Huh? Okay, there we go. Couldn't quite get that in there. This yellow part here. This part here. front. This other clear part here at the bottom. No, not the bottom, kind of like the middle of the barrel. And this part here, just not in a very different color. It would have been cool if these like little pipe bits were in a little bit more different color for them. That one's there. That one there. So once we've got all of that in place, then we're actually still not ready to close up the rifle quite yet. All those parts in the middle. And then we also need to make 3 of these. Like little grenades or like missiles in here, basically. Anything should be noted for this kit? Well, yeah, if you're coming in late and you missed the beginning and you're wondering if there's anything to look out for with this kit, go back to near the beginning where I was building the torso. The only thing that I could maybe that I would mention to you guys to look out for is, yeah, the alignment of like the gears for the cockpit and the torso. And if you're thinking that that doesn't make sense to you, just go back and rewatch that part and you'll know what I'm talking about. Is there supposed to be like all 3 of these in here? It's kind of 2 will fit right there. Is it supposed to be 2 in there? It's only showing 1 in there. This one also? No, it's not going to fit in there like that. I don't know. I'll try to close this up without anything falling out of place. Oh, well, there's a nub that I missed. That would be an issue. Yeah, this should fit into there like that, right? There's kind of nothing really blocking this from just sliding all the way out the back of there, which is kind of unfortunate. But okay. Scoot. And so this part here attaches at the front. This camera attaches at the right here. These bits. This is making what, another kind of grenade launcher sort of looking bit on the bottom. I think maybe is what this kind of maybe supposed to be. Like that, which is gonna go through there, into there. This little tiny bit goes into there. Quite the weapon, holy cow. It's just like we're just gonna keep adding more parts onto this thing. Like a super weapon. Now we've got a couple more of those little yellow bits we'll add on. I'll save those for a minute. Forgot that there was more of those. This secondary handle, which will plug into the side right here. These, it's like a secondary camera kind of thingy. Go. Oy. Like this. It's a little thing. Tiny little lens part in there for this even. Get in there. And don't you dare blast across the room trying to fit this little piece in there. Come on. There we go. Yes. Stay there. Don't move. Okay. Whew. All right. So that goes then like, or, nope, other way. Huh? Shouldn't it? Yeah, should go that way. Hello. Ah, that's for the wires, right? Forgot we got wires for this as well. That goes on there. That fits onto this side. And then, yeah, there are those two little... Oh, I better put those on first because that's going to be in the way. Two last little tiny thingies to put on here. It does look really cool. It's a really cool weapon design. Like I said, it's like a super weapon. Like Fifth Element style, a gun that has like 10 different utilities. A Swiss Army gun, if you were. What's the time? Almost 1. All right. Well, about 3 hours total. About what I should have expected. I didn't really kind of think. I mean, I just been in such a craze building stuff. I didn't really think like, okay, how long am I expecting this live build to take and this one? But I figured live building this at 10 and then live building the Barbatos Lupus at 3. There should be plenty of time in between. It should give me like a couple hours. I might even be able to finish something else in the meantime between the two. I don't know. Okay, and so yeah, we have 3 of these. Only 2 will fit inside there. Does one fit inside here too? I guess so. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's where it does say to put them in there like that. Although they're not super secure, it will fall out of there. So I wish that that was in there a bit more securely. But you've got that there like that. There's our finished weapon. Pretty wild looking. We do have this connection piece here, which is for... That is for the rifle. So connecting the rifle to the arm to give you a little bit more added stability. Got this part here that kind of connects into the back end. And that'll attach onto the side of the arm to make sure you got a good stable grip on that. So you're not relying on the wrist. So when you're holding out the rifle, where am I on camera? So the wrist is not going like this, like drooping down like that. That'll attach it to the forearm. So all right, pretty cool. And yeah, and a bunch of extra parts. Like I said, I think we've got all the parts to make the head of the original Gus. I will try that out and I'll let you guys know in the review. But for now, that's that. And we've got, well, oh yeah, there. I was gonna say, where are those wires? We got wires to connect the rifle. Where does that actually connect into? I forget. Connects into the backpack, the bottom of the backpack. So that'll be cool. These jobbers, not not shapeable, so you can like bend it like that and they'll just kind of bend back. That's not ideal. I wish that these were not like that, but these will go from the side of the rifle like that. I mean, they look cool, and I think like they'll perform just fine. But then these will connect into, yeah, here at the base of the backpack. Get in there. Might even be easier too to connect these into the backpack and then put the backpack onto the back. Although now I'm not going to be able to get the backpack off, so alright, I'm just going to leave it like that. Hello. Well, anyway, for the time being, you guys get what I mean. There, that's attached like that, and then these will just go around and be attached to the gun. Oh, I'm like too zoomed in. No, it's going to be hard to show you guys on this camera. We're set up here for live building, not reviewing. That's over there. So we'll do the review soon enough for you guys. Probably it'll be beginning of next week, because like I said, tomorrow I'm going to be working on the Star Abyss review, and that'll probably take like most of the day. It's a huge kit. If I can, I'll get to this, but I have a couple of other things too that I need to review. So this will probably be beginning of next week, but for the time being, for now, I will say everything's great except these front skirts are wanting to pop off a little too easily. I would recommend their ball joints. So like joint strengthener techniques don't work. I mean, they work better for pegs than for ball joints, and that's just kind of a, I don't really like ball joints for the connections like that. But there you go. It does look really cool. Nice fit on everything. Yeah, very cool kit. I like it. You just built a tiny little HiZac gun. Speaking of HiZac, though, I actually have the MG HiZac that I'm going to be building pretty soon. Just as a, every so often it's fun to build just like older Bandai kits. You don't always have to build, whatever's new and hot. Although I have plenty of that to build as well. But sometimes checking in on some old kits that I've never built before. I've never built the old MG HiZac before, so I thought that'll be cool to check out. So I've got that in the queue now. It's an older MG, fairly simpler one, so that should be a pretty easy one to just kind of knock out in between other things, because there are certainly a lot of other things to build. So yeah, if that's all that you guys have as far as questions for this for now, thanks so much for hanging out, and stay tuned for the review soon enough. And yes, I'll be live building the Barbatos Lupus over on my channel, on the ZakuAurelius channel, in just like 2 hours from now. So I'm gonna get a little food, get a little other video editing done in the meantime, and I'll see you guys again live pretty soon if you want to check out that live build. Okay? All right, sounds good. Thank you.